Hi, Stella Stevens is with us for the very first time in Lone Pine. We are so delighted to have you up here.
I love it up here. I had heard of it for years and years, and seeing the mountains and the good people who are here too, I have to say. The people are great here.
Well, this is a wonderful film festival. I think it's just about my favorite, and it's because so many movies were done up here, and because the people of the town, everybody participates in the festival, so it makes everybody feel real welcome as far as the celebrities go. You were like my mom. I mean, you started a family really early and divorced early and a single working mom. How in the world did you manage all of that? I mean, as a teenager, that's really tough. I know my mom had it really tough doing that for a while.
Well, it was not fun about that, about the child himself, who now is a producer.
Yeah.
Yes, he does a lot of things, yeah.
He's a great actor. I love him.
And he's a very good actor, thank you. I thought so too, but he decided he wanted more money than that. And so he's making his own pictures now. But I have 3 grandchildren, and they live in Dallas now. I don't get to see them. But Sam is in the 2nd grade, and he has twin baby girls that are not identical twins. They look a little different, so.
Oh, that's great. Now, you've worked with just about everybody. You worked with Elvis.
I did. Yes, I did. When I was with Paramount, yes.
Yeah, how was that working on a film with him? I mean, he was just such an incredible star at the time.
Yes, I knew that, and they, at Paramount, they wanted me to play the girl he dumped for another girl. And I told them, I will not do this. I will not be in it. And they say, if you don't do this, we will drop you and you will never get a job anywhere in Hollywood. They will do what we ask. And so I said, but I don't want to do this. I want to play the other person, the person that he ends up with. That I would like. This, he dumps me for another girl. I don't want to do that. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
So it ended up that I did it because I had to, and I have never seen it in my life. I said I would never see it. But strangely enough, I turned on the TV day before yesterday, and there it was running. So I saw my hair where they looped it up, bloop, and they put some kind of thing on it that made me look like I had gray hair. I could kill all of them still if I got near them. So I tell you, I turned it off after I saw my silver hair they made. And I really never have seen it and don't want to see it.
Oh, wow.
And he was just really bad to me when we went to start it. We went, and we had a little drink down before, and everybody said hello. And then I went up to my room. We were in Hawaii. And I hear, knock, knock, knock. And I say, yes, and I go and open it. And there he stands with two things with little umbrellas in it to drink. You know that stuff? Yeah, I don't drink very much. Okay, and so he barged into the room. And I said, wait a minute, I had one of those downstairs. I will not ever drink another one with you, especially not in my room. And this is very rude of you. Will you please get out? And he said no, and he ran over and lay down in the bed. And so I said, okay, I'm going to call downstairs and ask somebody to come and take you away because I can't do this, you know. So after he did leave without me having to call somebody up, he never spoke to me again, ever. That was over. So I hated to have to do that, but I have never been treated like that. Making me do something I didn't want to do, and then him walking in my room thinking I'm just going to sprawl out in the bed for him. Hi there, you know. And I just don't do that. That's not the way I do it, you know. Have to be a little romance or something. Thank you. Romance is what we need.
Well, wasn't I mean, the old studio system where they would help groom and you do classes and all, I know that in some ways it was supportive, but I also know that with your experience, and then my mom went through the same thing. When she and Dad married, they suspended her.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I mean, they really controlled your life.
Yes, they did, and I didn't like that very much. I was really very glad when I could be on my own. Yeah. And
now, did you get any good parts because of that, though, being part of the studio system, or was it only after you were independent that...
No, yes, I did, and even if it wasn't the most wonderful thing in the world, other people saw them and said, oh, maybe that girl would be good in mine. And so it did get me other jobs, and that was good. What you want to do is to keep working and keep working if possible. You know, just to do one or two and get paid well for a whole year, that's not as good as you think it could be. They didn't give you enough money for that at first. And there was a funny thing when I was there for a while, the first time I went there, and I was at a studio, and I worked three different movies. But when I went up to see, and I had done a scene, and the head of this was 20th Century Fox, he wanted me to come up, and I said, well, I will when I get time. And they said, go up there now, go up there now. So I said, okay. I went, and I sat down, and he said, have you ever been in a movie before? I said, yes, sir, I just did 3 here on the lot. Nobody ever told me to pull out this thing and clock in and clock out. I didn't think actors did that. So I never did it. So it never showed that I did. We went 13 hours in the night sometimes. I never got a penny of more money. And so then they looked at it, and it looked like I never had done anything. So he said, well, I'm going to look into that and maybe see if you will come back to us. And I said, okay, but I have to tell you I'm going to Paramount, and I'm going for something there, and they would like to have me too. And so I did. I went to Paramount, and there was where I was taken on by them, and I played in a comedy there with red hair, wild red hair. I always liked that. I didn't like me in gray hair, though.
Now, being from Mississippi, did you have to do the elocution classes and all to lose your accent, or?
I have a good year about hearing how people speak, and I try to sometimes do what they're doing back to them. See, but and I'm not making fun of them. I'm trying to learn how to do it. And so in Memphis, it was there was another thing. It wasn't very slow like in where I was born. Everybody talked like this. And so I knew I had to do more than that. And so I did work on it, but I found it from other people, and the ones that sounded the best, probably in movies too, because I watched so many movies. I still love movies and will always love them.
Well, you made so many and so many guest appearances on TV shows and all. What was your favorite project?
Ooh, that's hard to say. Well, I did a film that Peckinpah did, and it was out in the desert, and I think maybe that's one of my favorites, but Warner Brothers at that time was so mad at him that they didn't even release it. And later when they did, they put it underneath another thing to go out as the second thing. And so now it has become a classic.
Cable Hogue?
The Ballad of Cable Hogue, yes ma'am.
Fabulous movie, and you
were
wonderful
and,
in that.
And they tried to just put it under the table and leave it alone. And, and it broke Peckinpah's heart because he loved it too. It was a love story where he had done very violent films before, and I loved his work. He was hard to get along with everybody, only when he was drunk, which was every day. So, so you had to watch what you said to him, And I kept away from him as much as possible because he would blow his top, you know, when he got angry at people, and so I just tried to be away from him a little bit.
How was it working with Jason Robards?
Jason Robards was probably one of the best people in the world that I ever worked with. He was so wonderful. You can't tell that he's acting. He just is his character. That's it. And I watched it the other night again. It was on television. Mm-hmm. And the more I see it and how subtle he is, I'm not subtle at all, but he was. And everything he did, I can watch it again and again and again, and I'm never bored by it, ever. I think he was great. I had seen him in New York City on the stage doing a film, anyway, he was just the only man on the stage at that time, and he went on and on and on and on. I've never seen a better actor, and I thought in my life, I would love to work with him, and then it happened. And I was really surprised because that had been a few months before, but Sam Peckinpah chose him because he knew what a great actor the man was. Yeah. And he always had a bad time because he played the bad guys. They never get loved by people so much, but he was good at that too. But he was so soft-hearted in mine, and he fell in love with my character, so it worked perfectly.
Oh, it's a beautiful little film, just wonderful. And I mean, no wonder they show it on TV all the time.
Yes, I'm glad they do, and nobody's going to make another one of it anyway. Some really dumb person tried to remake the Poseidon Adventure. Why, we don't know, but he took the money and ran back, so I think that's the reason. And people have come to me saying, have you seen it? I said, no, I would never see it. And they asked me to go to when it opened, and I said, I'm sorry, I just won't support this. I can't. And I've never seen it, and I never will. Even if it comes on TV, I don't want to see it.
Who was your favorite director to work with? Because not all directors can direct women. And I think some are, have reputations as being better than others, or your favorite director, and why was he your favorite?
It's hard to say because I worked so well with so many, and they would be happy, or at least pretend to be, that they got me and I'm working for them. So they were really kind and good to me and trying to get only the best out of me. And they're like Big Daddy when you're there. You got to check out with them, how is it this way or how is it that way? And it seems like so many people helped me that I could be different people, play different people in things, and they knew exactly what that character would be like. And then they would listen and say, okay, good, go ahead and do it. And but so many, I couldn't tell you one. The hardest one to work with might have been Sam Peckinpah, but he got good stuff out of both of us, out of everybody. But when he went to where we shot, which was out in the desert, he fired people who came there. They were not actors, but the people who were, just the group that were there, and he sent them back, and they said to him, we're going to shut down before you even start if you send us one more man. Those people, when they get into an office, they think they rule the world, but they're not smart enough to do that, and they're not smart enough to tell Sam Peckinpah what he should do. They just shouldn't. They should have waited till it was finished and then seen how it came out, because people see it over and over and they love it. Yes.
That's great. Okay, do I have questions out there? Have you been thinking? Yes, sir.
You did a film that I thought was remarkable many years ago when you were first starting out. And it was a black and white film with Bobby Darin, and I think it was called Too Late Blues.
Too Late Blues?
It's a remarkable film. Can you tell us a little bit about that film?
Yes, it was it was not for television, it was for the big screen. Wow. And it was John Cassavetes' first thing he did. We were at Paramount, and it was the first thing that he had done for the big screen. And I think he did a wonderful job. I saw it not not too long ago. But you know, there was so prejudice at that time. Like his man who was telling him what to do was a black man. And they were incensed by it. And they said, we can't put this out. And they did put it out. And people liked it because it was true. Everything that was there could be true, you know. And the way we did it, and Bobby Darin was such a good actor. I wish he still was with us. He was a great singer too, but working with him was wonderful.
Yeah, I don't think he got enough recognition for his acting ability.
I only remember one funny thing. We were we were doing a thing where he had to come and kiss me, and all the guys are up above looking down, the lighting men and everything. Well, he got a hard-on, and they saw it. Yes, I did that to him, and so he tried to hide it all he could, you know, and he was a gentleman, definitely. But everybody in the whole place knew about it because everybody was telling everybody about it, you know. But we got it done very well, and he was very professional. He didn't do that on purpose, but it was a good salute to me, I thought.
Anybody else? Come on, you've got to have questions. Yes, ma'am.
How did you get your start?
Well, I did Bus Stop in Memphis State. It was called Memphis State then. They call it something else. But I played the role that Marilyn Monroe had played. And I wasn't quite as good as Marilyn Monroe, but I did a good job. And a man who was a press agent came to me and said, if you will get to New York City while I'm there, I'll be there for a week, I will take you to the people who could take me in and, you know, give me a job, many jobs maybe. And so he did. I went up there. His son was a photographer. He took portraits of me that are still some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen done of me. And we took it up there to the people who could say yes or no, and they asked if I would go out to California and do a screen test because they didn't do them there. Mm-hmm. And I said yes, and I went there. And after I went and took it, and they liked it, then they put me under contract.
Oh, the camera loves you.
Well, I love the camera, too.
I mean, it helps to have the bone structure and everything as well as the acting chops. It helps to have the camera love.
Most people don't like that because the camera can show you everything from your eyes, what you're talking about, even if you're talking about something else and pretending not to, you know, it comes out. Sure. You can tell what the truth is about it, I believe. And so what I've been doing for the longest time, I've been writing, and I have written 3 Westerns. Remember those? Westerns? So it's a family. The baby gets stolen by the bad guys, and her son has to go find him, and, you know, all of that. And I've tried and tried for over 10 years, I guess, at least 10. And now a woman who is a producer has read it, and she wants to see me when I come back from here, and she wants to do the first one, at least. So I sent her the other 2, you know, hoping that she might think that we could do all 3 of them. And if we did, that would be a mini-series. Mm-hmm. But if people like it and like the people in it who are still alive at the end, it's time that we could have a 1-hour show every week. Sure. And so I'm hoping that people will bring back how we were. I always loved history. That's the history of our land. That's where we're living. That's how we started. And children don't know it at all now because there's nothing to see. But if they could see good movies, they would understand how far we have come away from nearly nothing when people came out from the east to the west to settle and walked a lot of the way, and maybe nearly all of the way, some of them, when they couldn't ride in the buckboards and things. So I think it's wonderful to show how we became what we are now. And I think it was probably a better world at those times. I think a lot of people feel that way.
When you were going to college, what was your major?
English. And I wanted to write. I wanted to be able to write well. And so I majored in English. And so I've always been that way, wanting to write things that are good. And I've written many things that have been just looked at and, nobody does anything. So I pulled out something the other day that is a cookbook of all kinds of things that I haven't read in other cookbooks. And I said, I should redo this now and see if I can get it out now in this time, because people have taken to having all kinds of cookbooks, you know. Yes. So maybe I could get a break this time and have people. And I'll tell you one thing I'm adding in that you people won't be having a lot of, but I went to Romania. I have friends there. I did a film there. And they eat polenta all the time. Polenta is very, very good for you. And it's easy to make, and it's corn. It's ground corn. So you eat it for breakfast, and I make little faces of it because, you know, you stir it a while, and I put it down. I put eyes and a nose from little baby tomatoes. And I put, you know, horns up here and a nose here and this, and then I eat my polenta, you know. But it's really good for you, and it's not fattening at all. And people could learn to do it. I'm going to put it in my cookbook now.
Great.
And show you I'll put some of the faces I've made in the ones I've done.
Any other questions?
Why do you think that the movie making has evolved from the good old westerns and, you know, the good guy and the bad guy to such violence?
It's all done by men.
Great answer, I think, and really true.
Yes, it's really true. And I've tried to see some of them because I kind of like them and I want to know what's going on. And I'm disgusted with it because who needs to see all of that? How people get killed, how people kill each other, what they do and everything. And then they go and they hang out with a whole bunch of other guys in a prison. You know, it's like they should not even allow that to be on. It's horrible stuff. I like love. I'm sorry, I'm old-fashioned, but I like people who have something together and they love each other and they try to make the best out of life that they can be. These don't have any best life at all. It's bad and worse. And I think children can see anything if they say, oh no, don't see that. That's the one they want to go see, you know, because they shouldn't do it. It's because it's not good for their brains. That to tell them how mean everybody is, because they may want to be that way too, because they win a lot, and I don't think that's good for them.
Yeah, I agree, and it's, you know, too bad that we don't have more definite role models. I mean, I think for children especially, black and white is a whole lot better than nothing but shades of gray as far as personalities that they see. And even though I realize with actors, so many of them, they have way more fun playing the bad guys than they do the good guys, because it, you know, gives them a range.
Yes, and something that they don't do, but it releases all that anger of not being able to do it if they can pretend and do it.
Well, that's the thing. They are pretending, but I think the young people that watch that don't always realize that. So especially if you have somebody glamorous playing the bad roles, it's tough for kids. So I want to thank you for coming and being with us. And we didn't have enough time, but it's great fun. And
time flies, you know, when you're having fun. Thank you very much. I applaud you all. Thank you.